Hello all. Today's session will all be about use cases of AI Center in various domains, and then we see how we access AI Center. In the end, we'll learn about some of the core concepts of AI Center. So let's get started. Firstly, identifying the use cases. Um, the AI Center comes into the picture where we have the complex automations. Wherever you think there is no chance of doing that particular automation in native RPA, we go with AI Center. So possibly the process which we are going to do on AI Center, which we use AI Center, that should definitely be in either of these three. First should be the uncertainty. So uncertainty in the sense where we cannot determine what the outcome would be, and like we are not 100% sure of the outcome. So for example, it would be like property valuation and then uh, uh, loan defaults, and then like if a particular person he will default the loan or not. It will predict some, I mean, the outcome will be in the form of a confidence, like if it is for example property evaluation, the price would be the confidence levels. I mean, if it is close to 1,000, if is it really a value of $1,000 or not. It would give that prediction to us. So in those cases, I mean, if you don't know what the outcome is, in that cases it comes to uncertainty, and then that can be an use case of AI Center. And then high variability here. High variability where we have more number of rules, thousands and thousands of rules, for example. And if there are much variability in, I mean, can be there will be a variability to one rule to another rule. So if there is much variability like that, and then if there are more number of rules, then it comes to high variability, and if that will be a good use case for AI Center. For example, resume matching, language translation, purchase decisions. For language translation, it would be like for each line we speak, and then if we have to translate that to some other language. So for each word, there will be a different. I mean, for each word there will be different word in another language, obviously. So in that cases, that can be a use case. And then for resume matching, for example, if you work for a HR department, and you have thousands of thousands resumes coming up to you, and then you have to, based on some keywords, you have to classify that this particular person is suitable for the job which you posted. So in that case also, the resume, I mean, resume matching will be a use case there, and then that will be a suitable one for AI Center. And then the final and then important one are the unstructured data. So many of the in many of the cases where we have an unstructured data, for example a free email, free text email, so those cases we directly avoid in the planning stage itself for native RPA, in the basic RPA automation. So now with AI Center we can automate all those use cases where we have unstructured data. For example, you have a free text email, and then you have to find out, and then you have to classify that email to different folders, and different folders in the sense different, each folder determines each domain or something. For example, if a particular email has to go to mortgage, if it is a loan application, so like that. There as well, we can identify many of the use cases where we have unstructured data, and then that there we can use AI Center, and then we can automate those. So these are the other use cases for each in each domain. For example, in general, it would be like in general resume matching, as I said in the HR example. Then help desk answers, and there can be a bot which answers the users for help desk, and then customer churn prediction, complaints classification, and in healthcare, if it is in healthcare, to evaluate the risk in pregnancy, and patient receivable management, claim denial protection, many more. And in retail, if it is in retail, then we can use the inventory management is one of the popular one in retail, pricing optimization, product recommendation, and so on. And in financial services, also we had fraud detection, then entity identification, and many more. So these are the some use cases which can be automated using AI Center in different domains. There can be more as well. Now we see how we access AI Center. We discussed about this in earlier episodes. So first you have to, in case you are not using an enterprise version, if you are using a community version, you have to request for enterprise style, and then you have to go to you have to enable it there. I mean, I've explained in one of the previous sessions. Once you enable AI Center for this user, you'll see AI Center here in the more, and then you click on AI Center. This is where you see the AI Center. So you access AI Center, and then here you see in each page you can see the license usage. So yeah, you can see how many AI robots has been assigned. I'll explain how, like, when the AI robot will be consumed in the coming slides. So now we'll discuss about a few of the core concepts of AI Center. First would be projects. So once you enter into AI Center, the first page you see will be the number of projects you have in your I mean, the number of projects you have created. So I've just created a sample one, which is AI Center sample. It's just a random name. So this is how it looks. So these are the elements we have: dashboard, datasets, data labeling. Data labeling is mainly used for document understanding. I'll just explain a high level of what data labeling, ML packages, pipelines, and then skills which will be used in UiPath, and then the logs for each run. So these are the few of the dashboard elements, and first one will be the dashboard. So dashboard will be an overview, like of what are the datasets you have, ML packages. It will just show you an overview of the datasets, pipelines, and ML packages you have in your AI Center. And next would be datasets. Datasets is nothing but a folder of storage which contains arbitrary files and subfolders, many subfolders. So datasets, these are the this will be the place where we store all the information. For example, JSON files, CSV files, image files. So whatever the data which we are going to train or retrain in the pipeline, you store them in datasets. For example, if you are using an image classification, it would be basically defining the files. So to train the ML model, and then to retrain the ML model, you have to keep the datasets in the datasets section. That would be it. And then, for example, if you have an image classification which takes images, you can create a folder, and then you can directly upload a folder which contains all the images of which you train your ML model. The types of data, it can be JSON, it can be a CSV, Excel, anything. It actually depends on the use case you like to automate using AI Center. And then the data labeling, it actually it is mainly used for document understanding. So in case if you have an invoice, and then um, in the UiPath, you'll used to label what are the information you would like to extract from an invoice. For example, if you have invoice number, invoice date, and all, and if you see some of the labels which is cannot be scraped in UiPath document understanding, so those will be uploaded here, and then you can extract those information. You can create a label session for those invoices that are not available. So that would be the data labeling. And the ML packages, here you will see some of the ML packages which can be used to train and retrain, and you can also upload a sample. I mean, if you have your own ML package, if you have a data scientist team, and then they'll provide a ML package, and then you have to use that. You can click on upload zip file. You have to zip that, and then enter the name, upload the package, select the input type, and select the language, and then recommend GPU. GPU will be the graphic processing unit. So in general, we use CPUs, and if you feel like your process needs your process have a lot of data to train, and then if it takes an hours and hours, then you enable the graphic processing unit, and which will train and retrain your data very fast. Basically, in the community edition or the enterprise request edition, you don't get GPU, so we'll be using CPU itself, and then we click on create. So that's how you upload a package. And if you don't have any package, UiPath already provides some of the out of the box packages which will be used most of the times. So UiPath document understanding, image analysis, language analysis, and many more. So for example, you just have to open any of the package, and you'll find the description. For example, language translation, and if you have to translate from English to French, then you can find the description and what should be the input and then what should be the output, and you'll see this thing in all the packages, like non-retrainable and retrainable. So non-retrainable will be something which you can't retrain that model again. Like the package comes with a training, and then that will be only used, and you can't retrain that model with your data. That's what it means. And you can when you're uploading your own package there as well, you can control it. Like if you think the training is enough, then you can make it like non-retrainable, and then you can choose the package. So those are the ML packages, and you can explore all of them, which has been provided by UiPath. And next we have pipelines. A pipeline will be a description of an ML workflow. You choose an ML package, and then you have to train it first, right? In order to consume it from UiPath, you train that, and then that will be used in ML skill. And from ML skill, you'll use that from you'll use the ML skill in UiPath, and before that we have to train. So this is basically used to train, retrain, and then evaluate. This uses the data from the datasets. As I said, a pipeline will be a description of an ML workflow, and it includes all the definitions of the inputs required to run the pipeline and outputs to get from this pipeline. It will be an execution of a pipeline based on code provided by the user. This code is where the functions called in the pipeline are actually implemented. So there are three types of pipelines. We'll see once you click on create new, you can see these options, and then you can select the pipeline. So these are the three types of pipelines we have. On a high level description, so firstly a training pipeline, train run. A train run would be it takes an input and an ML package and a dataset together, producing a new ML package version. That would be the train run. And then the evaluation pipeline, it takes input as an ML package version and a dataset, and then produces a set of metrics and logs. So in the train run, it will just produce a ML package, and then in evaluation run, it will produce metrics and logs. And then full pipeline essentially runs training pipeline immediately after an evaluation run is completed. So those are the explanations of these three types, and you can choose the package which you have trained in before, or the package which you use that are available in the ML packages. And then you can select the versions, and you can select the dataset which we will have in the datasets section. And then as I said, the GPU, if you think your dataset is huge, and then if you want it in real speed, and then you can enable GPU. And here also we have three options. So one is run now, and then time based, and then recurring. Run now will immediately do the task, whatever the type you selected, and time based we can schedule it for the date and then time. Recurring, if you think it has to happen in every certain time, after every certain time, for example for every 3 days or 4 days, so you can select recurring. So, and then you can click on create. That's what pipeline means. And ML skills, once you create a pipeline, ML skill will be a live deployment of an ML package version. It can be used in RPA workflow by simply dragging and dropping. So that's what ML skill is. And then ML logs are these are the consolidated view of all the events related to the project. You can find, for example, in pipeline, when you started training, it failed. You can see the logs here, and then you can go deep down and then track it, what the error is, what the exception is, and then you can fix that, and then you can restart the pipeline. So those are the concepts we have for today, and then we'll automate together a process in coming sessions. So up to that, happy automation. Thank you. Bye.